Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to address my coverage over Forspoken and Dead Space. It seems that people in the community, a lot of the newer people in the community, are kind of questioning, my coverage. I mean, like my coverage over the DualSense Edge, the coverage over the over Forspoken, and the coverage over Dead Space. So, let me address this and let me put it to rest, okay? Because I'm getting a lot of comments from people saying that I am just going against the trend. Like, if everybody hates Forspoken, I love it. If everybody loves Dead Space, I hate it. Or the dual sense, my take on the battery life and like being okay with the controller, because I really do think that the DualSense Edge is the best PlayStation controller ever made. So let me address this. I told everybody, so last year I spent well over $10,000 on video games and like the PC and just all of that stuff. I invested a whole lot of money into this channel, and I barely did, like, I would buy these games, I would do a first impressions video, and then like nobody would watch them, so I would just move on from that game. I would just move on. And that cost me a lot of money, and now I got a whole bunch of games that I have yet to go back and finish. It screwed up my Elden Ring. It screwed up it literally just screwed up everything. I didn't really get to beat a whole lot of games last year, and that was frustrating, very frustrating for me. So I told everybody before the end of last year that I was going to make changes to the channel this year. I was going to only buy games that I was interested in and wanted to play. So now, when Forspoken, they put out the demo. When it first came out, like, I was like, ugh, man, this does not look good. It's blurry, it's fuzzy, and I was gonna pass on that game. Like, I was gonna pass on it completely. But then I went back, and so this. Let me explain why that was. Because I am a recovering PlayStation fanboy, and like quality visuals have been a big thing in my gaming habits for a very long time now. So when I see a game, when I first see it, like that visuals, the visuals is kind of what helps me, get through it. If it's got really good visuals, then I'll keep going a little bit. And I'll keep, exploring until, I mean, like, if the game starts off slow, like Dead Space right now for me was a slow burn. And I think the biggest reason is I just came from Forspoken, playing that fast-paced game, to a like really slow survival horror. Like, I loved survival horror games. I just never got into the Dead Space. I don't know why. I don't know why I never got into the Dead Space thing. I think it was just looking at the case back then, I was just like, yeah, I'm just not interested in the whole space thing right now. Didn't really care about that genre. But I love playing I love playing survival horror games. Like, I love Resident Evil. I even love the new Callisto Protocol. Well, not love it. Love Callisto Protocol. Callisto Protocol for me was pretty good. Like, I really did enjoy playing that game. I liked the fact that it was like a modern take on like the survival horror genre, where it's just, you just keep going. It doesn't have a whole bunch of backtracking, a lot of that. I like that new setup. I appreciated that. I was like, wow, man. I got through that game in 11 hours, and I was just like, yeah, that was pretty good, man. That was pretty good. I liked it. It wasn't like super. It was high quality. It looked good. The combat, once I got used to it, was like, yeah, this is cool. I really like that in your face, that action. I like that. I appreciated it. Is it a perfect game? No, not a perfect game, but it was good enough for me to be like, yeah, dude, I like that game. It was good. I sometimes I don't put a lot of that effort into like figuring out like my criteria for games, guys, is a lot different than a lot of other people's. I want to just be entertained. I want a decent story that I can follow along with and be like, yeah, man, that was pretty cool. I want games to be cheesy and feel like games. I don't need everything to be a AAA Sony quality um heavy story game. Like, I don't need everything to be like that. And I don't judge every other developer based off of what Sony does. Sony is their own genre in my mind. They're their own genre, like Sony first party games. I buy them. That's why I have a PlayStation 5. Everything else is on the Series X. That I buy everything else on the Series X because that's where I want to play most of the time. I appreciate my PlayStation experience, and I'll bet and I'll always buy their games because that's a genre for me. That's a Sony first party genre. That's a whole genre for me. I will buy their games and I play them when they come out. I don't need every other game on the market to be like this. When it comes to Dead Space last night, that video I first made when I was like, yeah, I'm just not into it. And I wasn't trying to be mean about that. I was just saying like, I'm not into it right now. I don't care. Like my mind is like, I just got done playing Forspoken. It was a fast paced game. I just couldn't get into it. I guess I could have chose my words differently because after rewatching that video, I came back and I was like, yeah, this does kind of sound pretty clickbaity, because I was getting a little frustrated last night when we were doing the live stream and everybody was like, yeah, man, you just trying to go against the grain. And I'm like, and they're coming at me with the whole Forspoken thing. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I guess maybe that video does sound a little clickbaity because yeah, dude, I was just not into it at that moment. That doesn't mean that I'm never going to play it. I mean, I obviously bought it. I said that in the video that I was going to play it, but it was just going to take me some time because I need trying to readjust to like, I have to be in the survival horror mood to play those games. I just got done playing a fast-paced game with like fast-paced combat, and now I'm trying to play something where it's a different, slower down, and it does kind of still feel like an older game. Like it still kind of feels like an older game. It doesn't feel modern. And when I said Callisto Protocol, I'm like, yeah, dude, Callisto Protocol seems more like I like that faster movement type stuff. It felt more it just felt a little bit better, I struggle going back and playing older games. Like I do struggle to go back and play things from like the 360 generation and before that. Like I struggle with that because games feel so much better every generation that it's hard for me to go back and reaccustomate myself to the older way of how they feel. Like looks, visuals is one thing, but like these games do change their feeling. I bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the remaster or remake or whatever they did of that one, the remaster. When it came out on PS4 and then it came out on Xbox a couple months later, I bought both versions on both games. And for me, the shooting and everything, like the movement just felt different than what the newer Call of Duties feel like. Still playable, obviously, but it just felt different. I need you guys to understand that. Like I said last year, this year is going to be different. I am going to take my time with the games more before I go ahead and just throw out like willy-nilly first impression videos and move on. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste my money and I don't want to waste your time. Dead Space, I'm about 2 hours into it now. I played it for a couple hours. It started, that one there just kind of started off as a slow burn for me, man. Like all the backtracking and walking back and forth and stuff. It just reminds me of like that older of like the I mean it's a it's a survival horror game with a lot of backtracking and it's fine. Like I can play that, I can still do that, but I just have to be in that mindset or that mood for it to be good. And I'll be honest with you, man. When I booted that thing up on my 4K OLED, because I was like, "Ooh, I want to see these 4K visuals," and it turned out to look like soft and fuzzy. I was like, what is going on with this? And I was like, no, man. I played about a half hour of it, switching between the two modes, and I was like, no, dude, I'm just gonna come back to this later. I'll throw it on the monitor, and it'll be fine. So I did that. I stopped playing it. I came back. I made that video, and then I came back, and then I made the second video. And I was looking at it on my monitor, and man, that's not helping. But then, dude, I put Series S version on the monitor, and I'm like, wow, this looks great. It looks sharp and crisp, like the PC version does. Because the PC version looks incredible on the 4K TV, and it looks incredible on the monitor. So I'm just struggling with the Series X version to be like, wait, why isn't this thing giving me that visual eye candy that everybody's talking about. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I think there might be a bug or something, because I thought this game was supposed to have a 4K 30 and 1440p at 60 frames a second, and that is for this type of genre, this type of game, that is the precedent that's been set by Naughty Dog with the Last of Us remake, by Callisto Protocol with Callisto Protocol. Like, that's just in Resident Evil. Resident Evil's the stunner, man. That one's 4K at 120 frames a second with it. Well, 4K with 120 frames a second mode, a ray tracing mode, and then a performance mode. Like, that one there is like the golden standard of like what we should be able to expect, because it looks beautiful and it plays great. So I don't know, man. Callisto Protocol looks incredible. And then Dead Space. Don't get me wrong. Like, when I'm seeing this game on the PC, like, yeah, it looks incredible. There's like this little ghosting problem going on, but whatever. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, obviously, I have overlooked worse when it comes to Forspoken to get you guys a good review of that game, because I really do love Forspoken. I'm playing through it again on PC. I beat it on the PlayStation 5 so that I could get that review out, and I barely scratched the surface of what's going on in Athia. I like that game, guys. I'm glad that I bought it. And I do appreciate Square Enix for sending me the PC version so that I could test that out, because I really was gonna like I said, I was gonna play through it on the PlayStation 5, but I wanted to do the benchmark videos to see if people were gonna be able to play it on their rigs. Mine's a 3080, so I wanted to see, because that's pretty much a, an upper like a higher upper card, like an upper tier card, but that will kind of give people at least a vision into what they can expect from the game. So I really, I don't know, man. I told everybody that things were going to be different this year for the channel. Like, I was going to take more time. I was going to do more racing videos. I was just going to get back to making the content that I want to make. And sometimes I jump the gun. Sometimes I jump the gun, because I give you my raw feelings no matter what. Like, I've never lied to you guys. Like I said, when I first booted up Forspoken, I said, woo, I'm passing on this, man, because that was my first inclination as a recovering Sony PlayStation fanboy, was, ooh, the visuals don't look good. But then I gave it a chance. Then I started playing it, and I fell in love with it. I love the freaking game, man. If you can get over the visual issues, then I think you could probably enjoy the game as well. But I told you guys, man, because there are people out there that are going to love these games regardless. There are people out there, and I want to be as fair to everybody as possible. Like, because I know there's people out there like me that are like, ooh, gosh, the visuals. Ooh, gosh, the visuals, because we hear a lot about that. Starting this channel is probably, this has been like one of the most stressful things I've ever done in my life. And I work so hard on this channel and in my regular life, just work and go to work and come home, and then I get on this channel and I work this channel until the end of the night. It's frustrating, man. I know we're not always going to see eye to eye. But like, I get that. There's going to be games that I'm going to love and you're going to hate them, and there's going to be games that you're going to love and I'm going to hate. Like, it's going to be that way. But I will always be able to, conversate with you and talk about things. And yeah, dude, people in the community, man, like, they call us influencers because we have a channel. Well, you guys influence me as well. Like, if I'm struggling with a game and I'm not liking it, I can always turn to my community, and they can always give me pointers. They can always give me help, and I can always try something in a different mindset and end up liking something, man. That's the whole reason, like, we're here. I'm here to influence you. You're here to influence me, because I do, like, unlike a lot of the other creators, I do interact with my community. I go live at least twice a week so that I can communicate with you guys, see how you guys are feeling about things, and we talk about things, man. And you guys get that interaction with me, because I read your comments and I answer them and I talk back, and you don't even have to super chat me. It's just because I care about my community and I care about gaming. So this is essentially a real non-shill, believe it or not, non-shill channel that buys and plays the games. Every once in a while, I do get like a every once in a while, I do get free code or free games or free products or something like that, and that's a bonus. That's a bonus, man. That doesn't mean I'm gonna sit and shill for that company, man. I'm not shilling for Square Enix. I've pretty much been like no, 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 no to every game they've brought out, except for Forspoken. I really liked Forspoken, guys. I really like that, and I'm grateful that they gave me review code for the PC version. Like that's awesome, man, because I already had it bought with my own money, $150 for two versions of that game, guys. Like I'd already bought it, and they're like, "Yeah, go ahead and refund that. We're gonna send you the PC version." I was like, "Cool, man. Thank you guys for saving me some money," because I do. I spend a lot of money, and I buy the games I want to buy. If there's like a lot of people in the community asking me to review something that I'm normally that I'm not thinking about reviewing, that's fine, man. You guys can ask, and then if I've got the funds, I'll buy it. If I can get review code from one of the developers for that specific game, I'll ask for it. But yeah, dude, I'm only buying the stuff I want to buy this year. I'm not going out of my way to buy stuff just to try to, oh yeah, look at this, because there's been products that I've bought that I did a review on and like nobody watched them. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm not going to spend like big amounts of money to try to get clicks and views and stuff. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that anymore. So yeah, everything that I cover is something that I want to cover or community requested. And then if a developer sends me a game, they're like, hey man, we want you to check this out. If it's something that like, I will check those out. So that's pretty much the coverage. And then more racing videos this year than we got last year, because sim racing is a very big thing for me, and I want to be able to get as many of those types of videos out as possible. Like even if people don't watch them, I want to make them. I want to make them, and they don't watch them, and I want to make them. So whatever. But please don't ever question my integrity or my honesty on this channel again, man. Like don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not a freaking shill, bro. Like I've got a full-time job. I do not depend on YouTube to make any money for me. Everything I make on YouTube, I put right back into this channel. I'm still like, this channel hasn't even paid for all the investment that I've put into it. Period. Like it hasn't. So please don't call me a shill. I'm not a shill, dude. I'm not here to shill for these companies. I'm here to shill for the games. If it's a game I like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna shill. Like it might sound a little bit shilly because I like the game, man. I'm giving you my honest, pure, real emotions or real feelings about these games, man. Like Forspoken kind of made me tear up at the end, bro. That game was damn good. I really liked it. So if you guys want to listen to everybody else that hates it, bro, you can find all the hate you want over all these games anywhere you go. You can find hate for every single game. If it's a game that you like, you're probably not gonna entertain that hate. But if it's a game that you don't really care about, yeah, dude, don't spread that hate any further. If you're not gonna play Forspoken, don't talk about it. Just move on. Move on to something else. Yes, we all know that Forspoken is the perfect game for console wars. Like it is. Like Sony holds the crown for the lowest resolution next gen game now, and there's no Xbox Series S to blame for that. It's you know what I mean? Like, it's fine. I played through it on PS5. I had a fine time. It didn't look like it was dropping to 720p. I was playing it on my monitor. It was fine. It worked out okay. So, all right, guys. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. This video is getting pretty long.